Oh, I received this in the mail today from LaserCon. So let's see what we've got here. Oops. I'm really excited. This is a prototype board. Wait till you see it. Some bubble wrap. Here it is. Are you ready to see this, Lisa?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be amazing. Oops. Get out of there. If I can get it out. It's stuck tight.
It won't ever escape.
It's never going to escape. Okay, there it goes. Oh, look at how beautiful that is.
What is this for?
Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? This.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. This is a brand new Dragon's Lair or Space Ace board. Brand new. This has not been created since 1983 or 1982, somewhere around there.
Then how did you find it?
This guy named Sean Wood made these from scratch. He has a company called LaserCon and he made these. Isn't that cool? And one thing that's really cool is there's a something called the Annunciator board for Space Ace that controls the LEDs on the control panel, and it's almost impossible to find. Well, this board has the Annunciator circuitry built into it. I know you care about this, Lisa, right?
Totally.
It has the Annunciator circuitry built into it, so you don't need to buy like a separate Annunciator board. This has it all built in. The other cool thing is this has something called Merlin DX built into it. Merlin DX is the Merlin DX has all three ROMs, Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, and Dragon's Lair 2 built into it. So this board, not only, you can see there's no ROM board attached to this thing. Well, you don't need any add-on board. It's all integrated into this board. Everything you need is in this board. And let's go over and look at my actual Space Ace machine over here.
Okay.
Walk on over here, and I'll show you what to point the camera at. Okay, so here's, oops, I don't even have it open right now. I'm not prepared. Okay, I'm opening it up. Okay. And here's a light. Turn this light on. Just a second. I'm not prepared. I need light. There's some light. Okay. Okay, so point over there. And you see this, where these orange wires are going in right there, that's the Annunciator board there. So with this new board called Arthur, you can see it's called Arthur 1.0, it doesn't need that Annunciator board. And you can see the old original Dragon's Lair board, and you can see the Merlin DX attached to it back there. That's the Merlin DX. That Merlin DX is no longer needed either. That's built into this Arthur board. It's awesome. And then you can see over here is my Dexter, down the bottom board. Down there is Dexter. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're going to do is we are going to hook this thing up and see how it works. Okay, so Sean told me that since this was shipped to me, the software has already changed, so I need to update the firmware. So I programmed this Arthur DX ROM I need to take the old ROM off that came with it. Careful. There we go. Here's the old ROM. I can reuse this old ROM. And here's the new ROM with the new code on it. There it is. Now I need to read some docs that explain how to change the dip switches on this thing, and then it should be ready to install in the game. Check this out. A volume control built into the board. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm going to disconnect the Space Ace board. Okay. And let's see, my understanding, oh, and here's the annunciator connector. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass this annunciator completely. My understanding is I'm not even going to need it. Okay. So I'm going to get the board. This is going to be a test, so I'm just going to... let's see here. I'm going to have to remove these two things. Causing me some difficulty. Where's my screwdriver? There it is. So let me disconnect, remove these. Okay. That should be enough slack now. And we'll put these back up later. Okay, now this and this. Now my understanding is that this cable is not even going to be required. This is only required for the annunciator. I believe this are the switches for the 3 skill buttons. But I believe the new Arthur board will handle that on its own. Okay, so I'm going to plug this in to the Arthur board. Go. Okay. And the annunciator connector. The annunciator connector. And go. Like that. There it is. Is it that simple? Okay, now I'm plugging in the LaserDisc player. It goes this way. A lot easier to get to on this board compared to the original. The original is always a pain in the neck to get to. And I just plugged in when you weren't looking, I plugged in the scoreboard. So let's try to power it on. Scoreboard rivet cable. Okay, here we go. Ready to power it on? Here we go. I heard a beep. Let's come over here and look. See a 27. This is the first time powering up this board. do something else. What do you think, Ian? Should we wait longer? Okay, well I powered this thing up the first time and I got a 2.7 error and it didn't work. But I asked Sean and he told me to try putting the Dexter into LDB 1000 mode, which I did, and now it's working, so I'll demonstrate that now. So I'll power it on. There it goes, now come around here, Lisa. Look at the screen here. We got a 21 like we should. Booting up. There it goes.
Space Ace, defender
So
of
let's
justice,
test this. I'll
truth,
insert
and
some
the
coins. Okay. I'm going to hit player 1 and then point it right here.
Okay.
At these buttons. Enunciator buttons work.
There's Bor's ship.
And game.
Looks like it's working.
Game is playing perfectly. Except I only have 3 lives. I'll have to change the dip switch on that. I don't like that. I need 5 lives for this game.
Yeah. This game could be pretty challenging. Oh no! Get
Okay.
away.
Very good.
Want me to try?
Oh, now Lisa wants to play.
I'm horrible at this game. I don't energize. It's too scary. Yes. Woo! The ball one's my favorite one.
Not too shabby.
Said I couldn't win.
Another thing I noticed with this board is there's something wrong with my original board that I didn't even know. When I turned the volume controls down, I hear this nasty static noise instead of silence. But with this new Arthur board, it doesn't do that anymore. I wasn't sure if that was my potentiometer volume controls or some other issue, but it's not an issue with this Arthur board. Pretty nice. So now I know at least something needs to be repaired on this thing. Maybe some caps need to be swapped out or something. So anyway, thanks for helping, Lisa. Appreciate it. So I learned that there's a jumper on this Arthur board that allows it to operate for a LD 7820 or an LDV 1000. So this board will support both. So the problem I had with the 27 error was just that the Dexter board was in 7820 mode when the Arthur board was in LDV 1000 mode. So I'm just using an LDV 1000 mode on the Dexter for now. But that's pretty cool that it supports both.